Hello, and welcome back to my second sports broadcasting podcast. In this podcast, I'll be discussing agenda setting and gender within sport. I will specifically look to focus on the agenda setting women face within sport. I will use data I've analysed from the datasets provided to give a greater insight into the problem women face from sports media. In 2021, McCombs and Valenzuela outlined agenda setting as the role of news media in identifying key issues and topics and subsequently influencing the salience of those issues and topics on the public agenda. This shows the power the media has on people's belief. We as a society are conditioned to watch men's sports and prefer men's sports over women's sports because there is a lack of fair representation of women's sports in the media. I analysed the Sky Sports dataset provided to explore this idea. The dataset contains all of the tweets that have been posted from the Sky Sports Twitter account over the last year or so. I decided to take a closer look and to select at random the month April of 2022. In this month, Sky Sports tweeted 601 times. 548 of those tweets were related to men's sport, and just 53 of those tweets were related to women's sport. Only 8.8% of the tweets were about women, leaving 91.2% of the tweets regarding men. After analysing this, I was shocked as I was aware that there was a divide between coverage in media of men's sport and women's sport. However, I didn't think it would be to such a great degree of 91.2% to 8.8%. The question I asked myself was why? Why is there such a divide? And I came to the conclusion that the agenda setting of favouring men's sport is so strong and it is so deep rooted in society that I believe it is extremely hard to change. However, we are going in the right direction towards reducing that divide. Women's football is generating record-breaking crowds, with the Nou Camp hosting the Women's El Clasico in March of 2022 and generating a crowd of 91,553 according to 442. And in tennis, it has been far more equal for years, with the US Open being the first Grand Slam to introduce same prize money for men and women in 1973. Another key aspect that should be discussed when it comes to the media's portrayal of women within sport is framing. In 1989, Gameson said a frame is a central organising idea that helps a sender and receiver to make sense of the world. Implicit frames such as metaphors, catchphrases, symbolic devices suggest the underlying storyline. Some might be unconscious, but others are conscious decisions that favour particular viewpoints. This idea of framing links to the gender marking we so often see in society. Why is the Men's World Cup just called the World Cup, and the Women's World Cup is called the Women's World Cup? It shows the bias towards men's sport, and it is unfair on female athletes. It also idealises hegemonic masculinity. Connell and Messerschmidt said in 2005, hegemonic masculinity is an idealised form of masculinity that is connected to toughness and competitiveness. That's the end for this podcast. I hope you enjoyed and make sure to like and subscribe.